Hey guys, this is Jeff. On today's podcast, I'm going to be talking about a lot of interesting things. So I hope you'll stick around with me here. But I want you to understand about how to get to the website. If you've never been to the website or you never heard of Entrefied, it's www.entrefied.com. And we interview professionals and we try to keep good value coming out to you guys, our listeners. And also, we have a free newsletter that you can join. And like I said, that's what we try to do here is we try to get the value, the success principles, the traits and things that we learn from professionals and leaders. And we may actually have some people with coaching and things like that on too, if they're wanting to, coaching and they want it publicized like that. If they don't, then we probably won't do that as often. Some people don't want to have that on, and some people will. But anyway, to get to the point here today, what I'd like to talk about is some things that's going on with the website here. I've got an article right now on here that I wanted to talk about with you, and I hope it'll give you great value. But it's talking about some thoughts on the Warrior Within book. You know, I read some of that book and I really liked it, and I wanted to talk about some of that stuff today. And it's the phenomenon of the moon and the water is likened to human experience. It says the water is the subject and the moon the object. When there's no water, there's no moon in the water, and likewise when there is no moon. So, but when the moon rises, the water does not wait to receive its image, and when it even the tiniest drop of water is poured out of the moon, does not wait to cast its reflection. The moon does not intend to cast its reflection, and the water does not receive its image on purpose. The event is caused as much by the water as by the moon, and as the water manifests the brightness of the moon manifests the clarity of the water. Everything does have a real relationship. You know, it's so true that a lot of things have relationships. You can look in nature and find that. But it reminds me that there are some relationship between things. Really, there's a lot of relationships we don't understand too. I've heard it said that if you stand up tall with your shoulders up, you'll feel better. And, you know, I really believe that there's truth to that. So there's certain things you can do to get better results. If we find traits in others we like and begin to mimic these traits, they may become our own. So success is repeatable. I guess that's the message today for this podcast is if you find out how to find success in the area that you're in, it's repeatable. I heard it said one time like this: what one man can do, another man can do. You know, so it's important to realize that it's not just luck. You know, you'll hear people say something like, well, they was just lucky. Now, there's time and chance. I get that. But a lot of times when people keep getting success in their life and they keep going forward, a lot of people say, oh, they're just lucky. They've got that golden touch. There's really no, I'm not saying you don't have genes and things like that that you inherit that doesn't give you, a better chance at being successful in a certain area or having a certain trait. So there are those kind of things. But in a lot of different areas, you can repeat success. So if you done what they did, even though they may be gifted with that, you're going to get similar results. And I think that's important to realize. But I wanted to talk to you about those relationships. Have you noticed some people in your life that have some traits you admire? You know, there's a reason for that. There's a relationship there that happens, that they keep doing that, and they keep getting good results. If you do get good things, you get obviously long term, you usually get good results. That's kind of like a cause and effect thing. So there are relationships to things. If you do this, then you get this. There's a cause and effect. What are some traits that you wish to implement in your life from what you've seen that others do? That's one of the things that you can start thinking about. You can even write that down. I believe it was Benjamin Franklin that actually wrote down, I think it was 12 traits, 12 successful traits that he wanted to start mimicking, and that he wanted to start putting action items into his life that he could start applying those things, and he started doing those. So it was rumored that he had done that, and actually I think I've read a book about him doing that. So, and I've heard other people talk about it too, at least one other person, I should say. So, find those things that you admire in other people, and you can start to try to apply that to your own life. success is repeatable. If you slowly start adding these things by practice, you can have these things happen automatically when you need them. You will have developed another tool in your tool belt. I heard a guy say one time, I was talking to him, and I had brought out something. He was actually a contractor, and I was helping wire this house, if I remember right. My dad was an electrician, and I was helping him do some work there. And I had made mention about to this person. I was like, yeah, this house is big, but they've got a bigger house. And I was talking to the owner of this house, and it seemed like that they didn't want to have the smaller house. In other words, I had mentioned that somebody else's house was bigger. And I don't know if I offended them. I hope I didn't, but I was telling this contractor that. He said, well, you can remember that for next time. He said, that's a tool in your tool belt, and I picked up that phrase, and I thought it's really handy, because a lot of times, there's little things that you'll pick up over time. But if you can slowly start to add things that you think is, beneficial in your life that you see others do, but, it's kind of called people watching. You know, a lot of people are your teachers. A lot of the people that you're around are your teachers. So if you'll start mimicking the things that they want to do, I'm not telling you to be just like them. I'm just saying, don't feel like that you've got all the answers. Start looking at the things that certain people do better than you. Certain people have things more together in a certain area. More than likely, if you're like I am, than you do. You know what I mean? So we can't be masters of everything. We may not be masters of anything. But what I'm trying to say is get to that point where you're starting to see the things that actually matter. So if I had something to talk to you about today, it would be try to find out what success looks like in your life, the traits and the things that other people are doing that is successful, that's making them successful. And everybody's your teacher. Everybody can teach you something. Even the bad things they do, you can look at that and you say, hey, I don't want to do that. I've seen that other person do that. Write down some things you see others do that is impressive. That is the goal today. So write that down and then start to apply that. So make you a list. It don't have to be every day, that you're applying something new. I would encourage you just to take one thing and practice it for a month. I know it sounds like a long time, right? A month seems like, oh, wow, I can't do it for a month. But I want to make this note right here. I want to make this note. Take one thing and practice it. Try it for a week. Try to take one thing that you see that somebody else does that you can repeat every day and try to do it for a week. I'm telling you, it's consistent change. Keep moving forward. Consistent, progressive action. Whatever you're doing, small steps, move, baby steps, move to bigger steps. But I hope you've got something from this. I've got another thing down here I wrote, and I was talking about, let me go over that. I wrote down here, let me get rid of some of these drawings here I've got on here, or the text. There are generally times of the day that you need to do things. What are those things that you need to do during your days? Rather than think about it, just do. Have a planning time, yes, but most of the time, just do what you need to do. I was thinking today, a whole lot of the reasons why certain people get better results is because they've directed their focus to what they want to get, and they focused on one specific thing. I'm thinking about one person right now in particular, really proud of them on this particular thing that they've went into, and I'm not sure that they want me to say a lot of that, so I won't go into that too much, but I will say this. It's quite an accomplishment what they've done, and I plan on talking to them more about that when I can, but it's one of those things where they ventured out and they went for a dream, and it went successful really big, and I'm really proud of them. It's happened here recently, and it's a great thing, and I think it'll be a great benefit to that person and their family, and I'm proud of them. I think they do an awesome job in what they're doing. But here's the thing, guys. You need to be focused on what you want. I believe that when you're focused like that, you have a power that you normally don't. You know what I mean? You normally, if you're just kind of everywhere and you're not really focused on anything, it's hard to do anything really well. But if you will dedicate your focus to one particular aim, at least during a certain time, you might not be able to do it all the time, but if you can do it consistently during a time, you can get better results. I'm telling you, that dedicated focus on one particular goal and you're working toward that, it's powerful. I'm not saying you don't get other things done either. And, I've talked about that before. Have a list, a main goal. And, there's a time for planning and then there's a time for doing. If you're spending all of your time planning when you should be doing, that don't work. And if you spend all your time doing and never planning, that don't work either. So what's the perfect, balance on that? It's hard to say. It depends on what you're doing. I've found in a lot of cases, if you've already planned what you need to do, there's very little thought about what you need to do when you need to do it, if that makes any sense. Guys, I hope you got something from this. We'll see you next time. Hey, by the way, get on our free newsletter at www.intrefIed.com. Also, before I go, I about forgot resources up here at the top. If you'll go to entrefied.com, again, it's www.intrefIed.com. Go to our resource section. We've got books in there that have authors on the show. We'll have a lot of great content, and get our continual improvement program. I'll be trying to put that up. Also, our free ebook, that'll also be coming up. I've already got that done. I've had that a long time. That talks about how to more structure the different areas of your life and work on like goals in those specific areas. And I think you'll get a lot from it. But go in here in the resource section and find out what you want to get. So I encourage you to do that. Get on our free newsletter. And also, while I'm talking about this is kind of the same thing. It's about the resources we offer on the website. So if you'll go to our website, again, how to spell it out, how to do it. Go to the bottom of it. There's a contact form. If you're needing like next step coaching, you can fill out that form and talk to us about what you need, what you think you're going to want to do next, or you're looking at. Sometimes when you have all that information together, you might not know what the next step is, and that's called next step coaching. So I would encourage you to do that. Let's also tell you about on the website at the top, there's a point that you can go to here. Let me pop over here just a minute and show you. So right here, there's a submit this form if you're a professional or leader in your field, and you possibly could be on the show if it's a good fit for the show. We're looking for those leaders and business owners and professionals that offer traits, tips, so even the struggles they went through to add value to our listeners. So guys, again, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.